Hey everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So today I have a really special project. And as you saw the opening, this is being dedicated to Autumn and also to Mandy. So I just want to give a little background on what happened. So back on my video, I did my very first heart cake back on, I think 2 months ago, and it was video number 378. In that video, I asked for suggestions on different colors to do this mold because I thought this mold was really cute when it was done. I read every comment. I tell you that all the time. I read every comment. There was one comment in there. It really touched my heart and I responded to her. Her name is Mandy Stanley. Hi Mandy. And she responded to me. Mandy gave me suggestions for colors. She gave me really special suggestions for colors because she proceeded to tell me that 2 of her children passed away in the last couple years and both were accidents. So it broke my heart to read that story. So I reached out to Mandy and I told her if she wanted, I wanted to make her the 2 cakes that she had described in the comment. You guys can go back and read the comment and my response. So we've been going back and forth for about 2 months. I've got to talk to her a couple times on the phone. Please, if you guys believe in the power of prayer, I would like you to pray for Mandy. She is still struggling. Her son was killed in a horrific accident, and then her daughter passed away in doctor's hands, and they were both young. And her son was, let me look. I don't know how old he was. He was born in 91 and he passed away in 2018. And her daughter was born in 94 and passed away in 2021. So she had described cakes for her kids' favorite colors. So we spoke a couple of times, and today's video is just for her daughter. I will do another video for her son. Her son was cremated, so she is mailing me some ashes because she requested if I could do a pendant for her in a little beach scene like she saw on a video prior. So of course I'm going to do that. So I'm going to wait for the ashes to come to do his cake. I'm going to start with her daughter's cake. This is a picture of Autumn. And these are going to be really special for her. She really designed the whole cake. I'm going to do my best to do it justice and to do it to what she wanted. I didn't want to just guess how to do it because I kind of knew the color she wanted. I could have just figured something out, but it's way more special that she designed it. So she did take plenty of time. I was not rushing her. And we talked the other day and she had her whole plan together, which I'm so happy that she got to pick everything. So we're going to do both of them in the heart mold. And of course their picture is going to go on the top. So she requested for the actual cake part to be done in one of her daughter's favorite colors, which was pink. So she chose this passion. And she wanted 3 roses on top, and she wants the roses done in the blossom. And I thought these 2 would go together really pretty. And she wanted the icing on the cake to be done with the crystal white. This is really super sparkly. And there are special things she wants written on the sides. Her daughter's name, date of birth, date of death, and a special saying that was written on the headstone. So without further ado, this is dedicated to Autumn and to you, Mandy. I did a lot of measuring yesterday, so the whole thing takes 11 ounces total to do the whole cake. It took about 3/4 of an ounce, so I can pour just the icing to get that set. And it's going to take about 4 ounces to do the passion today. And then I'm figuring 1 more ounce so I can pour the roses and get those cured. So when we do the top, that they will be ready as well. So I'm going to mix up 4, 5, 6 ounces of my epoxy resin, this new one that I just received. So I'm gonna keep trying this one in all different forms, and I don't see any difference. It does take a little bit longer in the vacuum chamber. That's no big deal to me at all than the casting resin, but that's okay. I'm going to put some glue in this today, so we'll see how that handles, so I can suspend this glitter, and that way it doesn't all sink to the bottom. So let me get some resin mixed up, and we're going to start this video. Alright, so since I'm putting glitter and mica powder and everything, I don't need to put it through the vacuum chamber, so that's good. I'm just going to, excuse me, take a little bit of this white mica powder. There's only an ounce here, fluid ounce, not by weight, but by fluid. I'm gonna get it nice and opaque because this stuff is beautifully sparkly when it's done. And I can still see the stick, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more. There's probably more sparkle in here than actual white, so you do need a little extra to get that opaqueness that I'm looking for. It's gonna be really pretty. I think her color choices were great. Her daughter also loved lime green, and she didn't really incorporate it, but I don't know that she knows this, but lime green shows through on the blossom glitter, so it's a pink and a lime green, so that's probably going to be a nice surprise for her. That's a little better. I'm going to do just a little bit more. And then we'll spray alcohol in everything before I pour the resin. That way we shouldn't have any bubbles. And once these are cured, then we can move on with the rest of it, which the rest is going to be, you know, sparkly white on the bottom of this, and then the pink passion glitter on the bottom of that. So we're kind of doing them opposites. That's much better. All right, I'm just gonna set this aside so I don't spill it. Get some of this glitter in this one. Let me zoom out for you so you can see what I'm doing. See that green in there? I don't know that she knew that when she chose this one. Maybe she did, I don't know. And I do want it pretty thick with glitter for those flowers. I'm just hoping this glitter is not too chunky for all the petals in those roses. And I am going to pour these right now before I mix this one up, just because I don't want this getting any thicker than it needs to be to do that pour. So I'm just going to take my alcohol and spray inside each of those roses. There's going to be extra, but it's just easier for me to measure 6 ounces than like 5 1/4 or something like that. So I'll make her something with the extras. Whoops. Get back in there. All right. These don't take very much at all. Like 1 ounce was way too much. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. All right. That looks good. I'm just gonna tap them, try to get any air out of the bottom of those petals, which they should be fine, and set them aside. So I do have plenty left over, so we'll figure something out with that. Put this away. So for the top of the heart, like I said, we're just going to pour it into the icing part. So I'm just going to squeeze my cup here. Oops, I forgot the alcohol. Don't forget your alcohol, guys, if you remember. It's a great trick. I'm just going to kind of make sure it gets all in there. The rest will dissipate. All right, so, and then I want to clean up anything that gets on the top of it, because I don't want that showing through the glitter part. You could also use a piping bag, I guess, if you wanted to. So because I want the glitter on the top of this lid, also where the picture's going, I will be putting the picture after it's unmolded, and I will cover it with UV resin and possibly, I don't know, embellish it a little bit. I'm not quite sure. I know I want to do something so you don't see the edge of the picture that I cut. I did change the background on the picture, and I got her permission to do that. So I did want to mention that. So I did Photoshop it a little bit, but she was really happy with it. So I didn't want to do any changes without getting permission. I'm just trying to fill this up to the line where it comes to the top of that portion of cake here. So I'm just going to wipe this off best I can. All that would show, obviously, whatever's hitting the silicone first is what you're going to see. See if I need any more. I'll just take my paper towel and probably wipe it a little bit more after I'm done. Just letting it find its level. I think that's pretty good. There's not much left. Like I said, it takes 3/4 of an ounce, and I mixed up 1 ounce. Whoops. Trying to keep it clean here. Probably easier with my hand. Okay. That looks pretty good. So for the passion pink, it's a medium cut glitter. I'm going to use my Elmer's glue, and this is 4 ounces of resin. So I'm going to put 4 drops in, and it always closes on me. This is just going to thicken up the resin without interfering with the cure. So if you haven't seen this before, that's all I'm doing. And I've found it's like 1 drop per ounce of resin that you're using to get the right thickness of consistency without, whoops, without going too thick. So it's going to look like hair gel. I just want to get it nice and mixed before I add the glitter. It's already warming up in my hand. And I'm going to put a whole bunch of glitter in here. It is a little harder to stir when the glue is in there, but it's not impossible. So just kind of fold it on itself, and that looks pretty good on my stick. Can't really see much clear on there. It's about what I'm going for. So I'm just going to spray the inside of my mold. Hopefully I won't get much bubbles around the edge. Now this mold comes with an insert. It comes with a styrofoam insert to hold it in place. So it's not packaging material. This piece here comes out. Don't throw that away if you buy this mold. You're gonna need that to stabilize your mold while you pour it. Okay, so I'm just going to, there's a line inside, you can see where the icing starts. That's where you're gonna wanna stop pouring. I think I'm gonna just let it ruin one side. Not really ruin, but for cleaning purposes. It should take most of this, although I did add glitter, so I'll probably have some extra as well. So there's an inside line. I don't go by the outside line because you can't really tell, but you could see where the inside line is, where the icing starts. That's what I'm looking for. But it does take a minute to self-level. And I'm just gonna kind of help the bubbles, if any. There shouldn't be. That alcohol should have taken care of them, but you just never know, especially with glue. When you make it really thick, you're gonna tend to get bubbles a little easier. And once this is cured, we can go ahead and finish off the rest of it. And the fun part is not only unmolding, but embellishing a birthday cake. And if you guys are on a device where you can make a comment, I would love for you guys to write something to Mandy. It would mean the world to her to hear from people who actually care about that. I mean, it's a horrific thing that has happened to her, and it's changed the rest of her life. They were her only 2 children. So I would love for you guys not to really make comments to me this time, but to make comments to Mandy. All right, that's perfect. I think maybe just a little bit more. And then I will find some molds to put the rest of this in for her. And clean off the top. And I'm gonna turn the heat mat on just because I don't want to give it any kind of chance to try to sink on me, just in case it was going to anyway. I don't think it will, but I do need to clean off all this surface. You could always wait till it's cured too, but while it's wet, it might be a little easier than picking it off. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get this poured in mold and I'll be back when this is cured. Everything is cured. I've mixed up 7 more ounces. It's a little more than I needed, but easier to measure that way, 7 fluid ounces. Now I do have the little roses I unmolded, and I also top coated them with UV resin. I took a little paint pen, did a little sparkle gold around the edges just to jazz it up a little bit. Now these molds are made for fondant, so they don't make your stuff shiny. So if you want them shiny, you have to put some, I brushed UV resin on with a little brush like this. So I took UV resin, I just dabbed it in all the spots and stuck it under the light for 3 minutes. That's it. That's all there is to that. So these are going to get set aside for the top of the cake later. Now I've got my 3.5 for the lid and 3.5 for the bottom. So the lid's getting glitter this time and the bottom is getting the white. Let me grab another stick. We'll do the white first because I am going to do glue again because it looked like it worked really well. So all my glitter stayed suspended. Here is, let me get the little insert out so you can kind of take a peek. So I could see that all the glitter is in its place. So that's good. I don't know that I need this in here anymore because it is solid, but I'm just going to leave it there just really for storage space because I don't need to set it out anywhere else. So I'm going to take a huge, nice chunk of white mica powder because now this whole bottom's going to be white because it's part of the icing. So I just make the bottom. So when you look inside of the actual trinket box is really what it is, then the bottom will be the white as well as the icing. So I just want to make sure I have enough in there for 3.5 ounces. It probably will only take 3 ounces, I think. Actually, no, this should take 3.5. The full bottom takes 7.5. I've already poured 4 in. So I'm just going to mix it up really well. It looks like it's still a little light. I'm going to put some more in. That should be enough. Make sure you mix it really, really good. You don't want any floating mica powder, which happens to me a lot. That should be good. All right, I'm gonna actually spray it so I can avoid some bubbles along the edge. It looks like hopefully we avoided some by spraying it earlier. This is going to be so beautiful. Yep, 3.5 is the perfect amount. So no extra, so I will have extra glitter one again. I made a bunch of pendants, some earrings, a couple crosses. I'll show you all that later when I'm completely finished with it. I'm just going to jazz them all up a little bit. And we'll do that at the end. Okay, it took every ounce of the 3.5, and that's perfectly domed. There shouldn't be any trimming, actually. I'm just going to spray the top and pop the bubbles. Okay, so I have 3.5 ounces here. I'm going to start with 3 drops of glue. That should be enough. It's a shallow. Of course, my glue dried. I don't know why I'm surprised that my glue dries when I'm not looking. All right, I'm going to do 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 4 went in. Great. It's just going to be a little extra thick than I wanted. Definitely thick. Shouldn't have any problems with this one. Yes, it is very thick. Okay, so we're just going to dump glitter in again. This one probably doesn't need to be doused as much. Like I said, it's a very shallow lid. So it should be pretty good. Just mix it really well. When it's that thick that you have to like slice it with your stir stick, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And then the top also is going to be covered with those flowers, and I forgot to spray alcohol. It's a little late now. Okay, I'm just going to go around the inside edge then. Let me do that now. I'm just going to take like a dotting tool. I'm just going to kind of help it, because when it's thick like that with the glue, it likes to stay together and not flow into nooks and crannies. So help it when you're using glue. Try not to forget your alcohol. That's pretty much the main thing. Okay, and now I'm going to just dome it so I don't have to trim it much. Then we should be able to decorate it as soon as we come back. Okay, that's domed just a little too much. If it's domed too high, it's just going to come out over the side. That looks pretty good. I'm going to spray it with alcohol, pop bubbles, and let it cure. It's the next day. Everything is cured. We can unmold these today, but I have a ton of little extras I figured I'd show you. Now these I haven't unmolded yet. I poured these with the rest of the top. So there's a little seahorse here. I'll stick them on here. You might be able to see them. Get you situated. A little whale. I haven't made these for a while. Starfish. An octopus, and another starfish. So those are adorable. We'll stick magnets on these and give these away. Little trimming, but not much. And then over here, I made 2 sets of earrings with the sparkle. I don't usually put any little charms on earrings. I just let them be plain, and then the charms go on the pendants. And I have these 2 pendants. A butterfly and a starfish. So each one will get their own set of earrings, and then 2 that don't get charms I made. I did have to put UV resin on this and cure it because these are such dull molds anymore. They're way too dull. Here's the little flower that came out. This is with the blossom. So I'll give this one, I put a magnet on the back. I'll give this one to Mandy. That'll go with her. And I also made her a keychain with blossom and put hope on it for her. And a couple other little pendants. This one I had a little bit of white and a little bit of the pink, so I just put them together and stuck a seashell on there. So those are done. And then I made 2 bookmarks for her, one with the white and one with the blossom. And I just took a paint pen, I colored in the cross, I UV resined over it so it's now even, it's not indentated anymore, and stuck the lime green on there for her. So those are the extras so far. I shouldn't have any more. That should be all of them. So let me zoom back out, and we will get this unmolded, and we should be able to finish this up today. Hopefully. See, oh, little bubble there, not too bad. Remember, this was thick with glue, so there could be some bubbles. Are you ready? Oh, is that pretty? This is so sparkly in person. Mandy, you're going to be so happy that I know it doesn't look like it on camera, but it is beautiful. Beautiful. So we're going to put the picture of autumn on here. And then we will somehow embellish it. I also have the roses going on the top somewhere. Hopefully all 3 fit. I may have to put them on its side. I'm not sure how we'll do that yet, but we will do that. Let me get this one unmolded. I guess I should take this insert out. It might be easier. I think it's going to be so pretty. Hopefully I don't have any bubbles on this edge. I don't see any. Oh, there's no bubbles, you guys. I'm so excited. Here we go. Let me get this mold situated for the next one. Look at that. It's so sparkly at the bottom. It is so beautiful. So pretty. And now there are a couple stray pieces of glitter. I thought I got them all. I did. Man, that stinks because I thought I got every last one of them. So there's the back. This is going on the top. Isn't that the most cute little trinket box? It's fairly large if you haven't gotten this mold yet. It's pretty big. So we're going to do the top. I'm also cutting out some wording for the sides. She wants certain words on this side and certain on this side. So we're going to do that. We're going to get these little flowers put on. I'm not sure how. I'm going to play around with that. So let me figure that out, get everything cut, and we'll finish this one up. I glued the picture down, and now I'm going to take my UV resin. I'm just going to fill in the top of this. You can use 2-part epoxy if you want to, if you don't use UV. It just, you know, is instant for me, but you can, you know, obviously do your regular resin. Just fill this in if you're going to put a picture or anything that needs to be sealed in here. So I'm just going to cover it and cure it so I can keep moving on this one. Spread it nice. And then I will probably UV resin the roses in place. I need a little poker stick. Get it in all these little corners. Now, because this is a pretty thick coat of UV resin, I hold my light up pretty high away from it so it won't wrinkle. Okay, everything is covered. I'm just going to take a lighter to it. Pop any bubbles that may be there. Sometimes you don't see them until it's too late. See, I see bubbles on top of the picture. Try to get those out of there. I don't think I see any more. I don't know what that was. And then I took out my rhinestones because I don't like to see edges of pictures on things. So I picked the pink rhinestone. And once the flowers are put on, I'm going to rhinestone around the rest of it because the flowers do cover a little bit of the edge. So I don't want to do it first. I think that looks good. I mean, the cure is permanent, so take your time. See, I see bubbles coming up from this picture, so I'm definitely going to wait. Or I will be redoing a lid. Actually, I think I'm going to cure it quickly, then they can't come up anymore. All right, I'm going to turn it on and hold it high for like a minute, and then I'll do it low for a couple minutes. So for the roses, I think I'm going to try to get it to stay with UV resin. I'm using the high viscosity so it doesn't run. I want this one kind of up on the edge, so it's going to be a little tricky trying to get it to stay there. So I got to be quick. Once it's in place, then I can do some more. So I'm just going to cure that real quick. Now that that's secure, I'm just going to add a little bit more underneath because it's not holding by much on each side here. So it'll kind of adhere to the rose. Cure that one. And pretty much just the same thing for this one. I'm just going to get it kind of in place, get some resin down there, and cure it. All right, they're all in place. I just went around the edge. You can use like E6000 or something, but because I wanted them at an angle and not to pop off, that's why I used my UV resin. So for the rhinestones, I use Liquid Fusion, which is this, which I'm almost out of. I will link this below. That's what I use for the rhinestones. Get your pencil, your wax pencil in your little tray. And I will fast forward it, but I will show you a few. So I'm just going to go around the edge. Oops, the edge with some glue. And place them one at a time. And then it'll dry clear. Oops. And then of course I will speed this up, but you just grab one at a time, stick it on your glue. It doesn't take too long to dry actually, maybe 20 minutes. And just go right around whatever you are going to go around. And then move them wherever you want them with the tip of the pencil. It'll let you move them. Just like that. Can you see them? Probably not too good because pink is pink. Pink on pink. All right, I'm going to fast forward the rest of this. And that one is done. Now we're going to work on the sides. I've got the words ready, so let's get these on. So the left side is going to have her name, date of birth, and my cries have. This is written on the headstone, and she knows this is spelled like that. That's the way they spelled it on there. So I'm going to take the lid off. I just wanted to see where it was positioned. So I'm going to get this kind of where the last word goes close to the edge. This is permanent vinyl that I'm using because I'm not covering it with any kind of resin. I'm just going to put the words on. And I thought white looked the best. We were going back and forth between white and silver, but because of the icing, I think that the white was the best choice, so she didn't care either way. There we go. Beautiful. And then the left side is going to have her last name and then 7/9/21 and then finishing the phrase awoken the master. So my cries have awoken the master. So I'm just going to kind of line this up with the bottom. I think that's good. So being permanent, and I'm sure it's not going to be used probably. Most people put things in or just look at them, so it should be fine. I don't think it'll be abused or anything. All right, let me get that exclamation point is the hardest. It's so small. I did have to cut this a couple different times because the fonts were just not right. So I did have to go with a larger font just because I couldn't get it weeded properly and it was missing like the dashes and the dots, and so sometimes you have to go with plan B with the Cricut. There we go. There we go. Autumn. I think that looks great. There is the finished product, you guys. I hope you like it, especially you, Mandy. I hope you like it. I will get busy on your sons here in a few days. So you guys, thanks for stopping in and watching. I hope you gave Mandy some great comments in this video. She definitely deserves it. She's gone through a lot. I know a lot of people have, but I just happened to fall upon her story and wanted to do something for her. So you guys all have a blessed day. I will get you some final pictures, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.